Tom Ziglar here, CEO of Ziglar Inc. And I've got Master Rich Grogan. And you are now a Ziglar Legacy Certified trainer. I'm so excited that you're part of the Ziglar team. And we can tell by what you're wearing that you have quite a background. So tell everybody what you do and what your heart's desire is.
Well, thank you, Tom. And I've accomplished a few things in my 48 years of life, but I'm telling you, the fact to be a part of the Ziglar family is absolutely incredible. Matter of fact, I really get nervous on these things, and my heart is really pounding just the thought to associate with you, your two wonderful sisters, and mainly your father up there, who's kind of set this all up. And I shared the story with you. 2012 was the first time I'd ever heard of Zig Ziglar. Obviously, he's been around a lot longer than that, but and this just goes to show you're never too late to rock and roll, to learn in regards to planning the input, self-development, self-education, the Automobile University, which I'd never heard before either, but it's all about planting those seeds. And I had a few weeds in the garden. We got those weeds out now, and we got the bright seeds planted, and they're continuing to grow. In regards to my background and what I do, I've been in martial arts right at 40 years now. The main primary area of development that I try and work with are kids, young kids, planting the right seeds, but planting the core values of manners, discipline, respect. Those core values that have somehow, some way got kicked to the curb or went to the wayside. But in the midst of doing that, humility, honor, integrity are a couple of our core values, core principles. And it's simply teaching these kids to believe in themselves enough to stand up for themselves, but also to believe in themselves to do the right thing, to say the please, to say the thank you, to be respectful to others, to hold the door, to put their shoes side by side, to say yes mom, no mom, yes dad, no dad. All those core values, like I mentioned, have kind of gone by the wayside. And a lot of it is, and I was a teacher for 11 years, and I would see this in schools where kids tend to be followers. They'll follow, and a lot of times they make maybe not the best choice, and they follow the kids that are being mean or rude or disrespectful because they're afraid to stand up to those kids. Well, our thing is, I want them to be the leaders. I want them to be have the kids follow them because they're setting the right example. So that's kind of our core mission, and if you will, the mission is helping parents and empowering kids to be their personal best. Now, whatever that is, their personal best. And in a sense, teaching them to believe in themselves, to stand up for themselves, to stand up for others, to stand up to bullying. But I think most importantly is to stand out in the crowd with exceptional manners, discipline, and respect to make our society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live.
Wow. So I know you got 40 years of background in martial arts. You've trained with the best in the world. You've traveled overseas to get your training.
Yes, sir.
You've probably seen everything. You're a lifelong student, and yet you come through Ziglar certification and you learn the Ziglar philosophy and from the inside out. Now you're going to take this back to the students, the kids that you teach, but also to their parents. What's that going to look like? How is the Ziglar certification going to help you in your mission?
Well, obviously, any kind of knowledge is fruitful, right? You're planting the seeds of growth. And I've got a podcast, and I talk about your dad all the time on the podcast, which I'm so honored that you're going to be on the podcast. Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's just a chance to have that Ziglar name, that Ziglar legacy, that certification. So it's more than just Master Rich Grogan and what I'm doing in our community. I want to take this thing worldwide because our mission's not just make our community a happier, healthier, and safer place to live, but make society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live. And with a Ziglar name and attached, there's so many opportunities to do that. And obviously the kids have never probably heard of Zig Ziglar, but it's my goal to, just like when I first heard of your father, to start playing the Audible CDs in my car. And then my kids started listening to it. And I know I shared that story with you. I'd pick them up from school and we'd rock out on whatever music, whatever it may be. They got in the car one day and I've got the Zig Ziglar Better Than Good CD. And I remember the kids, they looked at each other, they looked at me, and they looked back at each other, and they looked back and says, "Dad, what in the heck is this?" And I said, "This is Zig Ziglar. This is positive stuff. You're going to like it." So I'm yelling at him about listening to something positive. But my whole point of telling that story is if I can share this with parents that possibly have never heard of Zig Ziglar and, check up from the neck up, you are what you are because of what you put into your mind, all those quotes, and to help them start putting the right things in their minds and maybe instead of listening to talk radio and getting frustrated, they're listening to something positive, something motivational. And the kids, as we know, they pick up on all habits, good or bad, and a lot of times they pick up on the bad ones. So if we can start planting those seeds early. So this is just a way of collectively working together to take things to a whole nother level. And I just couldn't, and it said, yeah, all the certification in martial arts, I've been over to Korea, I fought some of the best in the world. A lot of the mental battles were far tougher than the physical battles, but the fact to be a part of this family, to be a part, becoming a good friend with you and reach out at any time, I mean, that's why I said I'm a little nervous. This is amazing in so many ways.
So somebody's watching this video right now and they're thinking, you know what, I know I'm meant for more. I can do more. Maybe there's been a situation in their life where they felt a little abused, or they felt like they were kind of shoved aside. Their voice didn't come out. I really can't think of a better combination of a physical skill like martial arts that builds confidence, that builds your physical ability to take care of yourself, to create that air of confidence that people, they don't even question it anymore, right? That you're no longer a target. And then you add the mindset and the philosophy of Ziglar to that. So one last question. So somebody is kind of getting excited about this, right? Because it's the combination of the mental and the physical and the spiritual, right? It's everything that matters. What's the first thing they need to do? How do they reach out to you? What's the first step they should take?
Well, it's funny you say that. I always talk about a three-legged table and having those three legs in balance, and that's that mental, the physical, and the spiritual. And I know for the longest time, those legs were not in balance. And it seems like it's always a constant battle, but December 17th, 2017, I was baptized, give my heart and soul to the Lord Jesus Christ, so born-again Christian, which that really helped balance it out. And this was just another, strengthening pillar was to incorporate the Ziglar philosophy, the training, and how to make things, like you said, all together be their very, very best. And I'm writing a book. I think I shared it with you. I Am Bully Proof, and that book's talking all about the inside out, just like your father had talked about. You can't change the outside world if your inside world's a mess. So change the inside world, and that's that courage and confidence to believe in yourself. Because a lot of times the bullying happens, and I was bullied as a kid, teenager, even as adult, because I allowed it to happen. So I'm going to defeat that bully inside by respecting myself enough not to allow somebody else to disrespect me. And that's kind of the essence of I Am Bully Proof. To find me, I've got on Instagram, it's Kickin'Life with Master Grogan. I've got Kickin'Life with Master Grogan, a Facebook page, and our group that we opened up as a group now, so folks, you can go there. It's Bully Proof Our Kids with Master Grogan. And every day I've got some inspirational quote, a lot of Ziglar quotes on there, and then also training tips, educational tips on how to help your kids become bully proof. And but the biggest thing is, us together and building, folks listening at home, that tribe. We can't do it alone. Just like, when your father passed away, you didn't want his legacy to end. And so that's why you're doing what we're doing here, and I've got the opportunity to be with you. So folks at home, a tribe. We're building a tribe together to make society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live.
I love it. So reach out to Master Rich Grogan. I know that you are powerful. You walk the talk, and you talk pretty good too, by the way.
Well, I appreciate
You've
that.
been a blessing in the class. I'm so proud that you're part of our Ziglar family, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So just grateful that you're part of the team.
I thank you. This is out of the achievements I've achieved, and there's more to come. This is right up there, maybe at the absolute very, very top. It's a born again Christian, like I mentioned. I'm born again mentally, philosophically. That's an easy word for me to say, but also with the power within. I've also got a podcast. That podcast is Kickin'Life, and what that's all about is not if, but when the world kicks our butt, as it often does. I'm here to empower and inspire you and kick your butt back up in order to live your best kicking life.
All right. Love it. Thanks, brother.
Thank you very much. Can I have a hug?
Yeah, you bet. Love you.